Hey, folks, time for the Mike North 5-minute half-hour news brought to you by the Village of Rosemont. Be the hit at the water cooler. Be the hit, at the local restaurant. Be the hit when you're playing softball. Say, hey, I heard this. Where'd they go from who? The Mike North Entertainment Network at north.com and ORTH Deal and ORTH.com. Also be a Facebook fan. Let's talk about Ashton Kutcher, who's going to be taking over for Charlie Sheen and 2.5 Men. Charlie Sheen says, good job. This and that. I'm sure that he was very happy. Took another shot at the producer of the show. Here, let me tell Charlie Sheen this. Everybody can be replaced, and you were just replaced. And nobody's going to look back, Charlie. And you can act as gracious as you want. Bottom line is that you have really, really done a lot to damage your career. If Hugh Grant would have taken it, then Ashton Kutcher might not have gotten it. But here's the key. It was the cast that wanted Ashton Kutcher and the kid. I don't know what his name is. He's the one that's a Twitter follower with Ashton. They go back and forth. He's the guy that suggested it. So your own people had enough of you and sold you down the river. Congratulations to Ashton Kutcher. There's no doubt the first episode may be one of the most watched in the history of television just to see how he does. How about Thor? When I was a kid, they had Thor comic books. I went right by him. I went to Superman. I went to Batman. They had Western comic books like the Rawhide Kid back in the day. I went to Archie and Jughead. I never went to Thor. Well, it made $34 million. And Bridesmaids, the Hangover ripoff about a bunch of women that go on some trip or whatever, which I will never see, unless it's on TV late night on TNT or something after the basketball game, did $24 million. Not bad for second place. So it's Thor #1 and Bridesmaids #2. But Roger Ebert hearing footsteps. First of all, Roger Ebert hasn't been relevant, I don't believe, in this town for the past 10, 15 years. I mean, everybody's giving him Lifetime Achievement Awards. He's had that bad illness. I give him all the credit in the world. I have no axe to grind with Roger. I like Richard Roeper. But you know what? When you write a column in a blog and you half-ass it like he did about Thor, he writes a full-page column today saying he might have been a little hasty about things, might have been a little... That's a guy that's got a TV show he's trying to sell right now. Nobody's watching it, okay? Nobody cares about it. And quite frankly, Roger Ebert is hearing footsteps. When a critic writes he didn't do his due diligence, you're done. You're done. You're lazy. You let Roper cover it, but you felt you had to write something in the blog, and he took a beating, and deservedly so. Roger Ebert, I like you, but you stopped being relevant about 1994, okay? Also, Bob Seger, who still is relevant, was at the Allstate Arena. I saw the playlist. He's got to be, I would consider right now, he's 66 years old, has bad knees, a bad back. He doesn't know how long he's going to tour, but apparently last night he went nuts. He did over 2 hours. It was like he found the fountain of youth. I heard about the reviews, read about him in the papers this morning. Rock and Roll Never Forgets was his last song. He's the Sinatra of rock and rollers now. He doesn't try to hide his age. He's letting himself, he's completely gray, out of shape. He wears loose-fitting baseball jerseys to really hide his gut. But here's the key. His voice is still there. His writing ability is still there. His performance is still there. And when you hear, Rock and Roll Never Forgets, if you hear You Always Won Every Time You Play, so you're still the same. When you hear all these Grambling Man, you want to talk about it? You want to talk about a guy who's still relevant? It is Bob Seger, one of the great American entertainers of the last 40 or 50 years, okay? Jose Bautista hit 3 home runs the other day. I've had discussions with my partner, Corey Torf, on this. Corey is is a believer now that he's doing it naturally. From last year's at this time to this year at this time, he's hit 63 home runs. He's doing something. That's all I'm going to tell you. Now, there's a few more games in a calendar year, I understand that. But 63 home runs from this time last May to this time this May, that ain't right. Something ain't wrong when everybody's numbers are going down. But he's the only guy whose numbers are going up. You will find him down the line in the pharmaceutical jail cell that I have for people like Jose Canseco, even though he told the truth, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa. Someday, I believe Jose Bautista will have a cell in, of course, not Alcatraz, but the Mike North Pharmaceutical Jail. Hey, the Sox win yesterday. They're on a roll. Really, but who's really paying attention to baseball? The Cubs are up and down. My God, what's going on? And then the Bulls, we don't have to say too much about them, how good they are. They're up 1-0. This has been the Mike North 5-minute half-hour news brought to you by the Village of Rosemont. Still chilly outside and was one of the worst weekends ever. Don't put the winter coat away. I'm Mike North for the Village of Rosemont. From the 9th largest convention center to restaurants to theaters, sports venues, and hotels. 5 minutes from O'Hare. You got it all here. Rosemont, you can't miss it.